Welcome back to another testimony video. Today I'm going to be going over Eucharistic adoration, how it's affected my life, especially recently. I'm not going to go into it now because I don't want to take too long. So I first started going to Eucharistic adoration when a friend reintroduced me to it. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he will want that, so I'm just going to label him as a friend. But he can reintroduce me to Eucharistic adoration chapel because he asked me a question one day. He's like, "You haven't been there at all?" And I was like, "Is there something I should be doing?" And so then I went there one day and I asked my dad about it. So then I went to Eucharistic adoration. I was like, well, because I kind of felt new because I haven't, I believe, been there, the one that was in my church, in a while. So it was kind of like a new experience for me again. And then I didn't really appreciate it until I started doing more research in Eucharistic adoration when I went home after my friend told me about that. And I realized how pretty much big it actually is. There is a quote from St. John Bosco, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, that says, something like going to adoration can make ordinary men into saints. It goes something like that. And that's kind of a big kind of motivation factor for me to keep going to adoration. But when I started going to adoration, I liked it. So I kept going. And I went often. Usually when I went to like CCD, I would try to go there beforehand. Or my confirmation classes, I would go to Eucharistic adoration. I kept going there. And it was a continual thing. And I know a lot of the saints talked about Eucharistic adoration. And I see a lot. I think a decent portion on it talk about how it can improve your life. I even think Blessed Carlos Acutis says something about Eucharistic adoration as well. But if anybody is unfamiliar with Eucharistic adoration, as Catholics, we believe that Jesus is truly present, the body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Eucharist, the tiny white host you'll see lifted up in the Mass. It's put into a device called a monstrance or monstrance. I'm not sure if I'm saying the name correctly. And it's sealed in there. It looks like a golden, I don't know how to describe it. It's like sun rays going like this, all around it, like in a circle, and it has something to be able to hold. The priest will sometimes hold it, and it's something that's called benediction, which I'm not going to go in detail with, which I believe that's what it's called. But what it is it's stuck in that device. It's in a room, another kind of bigger tabernacle that's usually, I don't know, it might be made of, I don't know. For me, for the one of my parish, just out of wood, you open it, and then there's a monstrance right there. And it's in a room on the side of my church. But that's essentially what it is. It's just the Eucharist in the device. It's in that room. And you adore our Lord truly present in the Eucharist in the monstrance that's in that centerpiece. But yeah, you can look at photos, you can do more research on online. I would recommend going to like Catholic Answers or the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. They probably have something on that as well. But that's what I recommend. But moving forward, more recently, something I did want to share as well when I went to Eucharistic adoration yesterday. I'm recording this on December 1st, but yesterday was the November the 30th, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm correct. It was 11/30/24. I marked the date, and it gave me a really good sense of peace. And there's been times when I've been at adoration, I have a big sense of peace when I've been there because I know I'm in front of Jesus. I'm here. And Bishop Barron, he used an example, I believe, of staying close to the fire with adoration because you're right there. He made an example like that. He had a homily or something document that. I just remembered that just now. But continuing on what happened, so I went to Eucharistic adoration, but the reason why I went there that Saturday was for another reason beforehand, which I'll explain. So more recently, I've been having trouble having to spend my time well because I've been pretty much wasting time, like playing games, watching the show. Then I'm kind of sitting there like, okay, what do I do? And praying to God, like, what do I do? Because I don't know what to do. I'm usually stuck in this office, and I don't really know what to do in my days besides drawing and editing videos, playing games, watching something. That's it. And I didn't know how to spend my time for the past 2 days. This was like Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. And Friday, I believe, is when I was praying. Maybe Friday or early Saturday morning, one of those 2 days. I'm not too sure. Sorry. And I was asking God how to spend my time. Well, either doesn't matter. And later on, I had the idea, after I prayed the rosary, to go to Eucharistic adoration, which it was an answer to my prayer because I didn't know how to spend my time. And it figures because that's the best way to spend your time is in front of Jesus. It's the best time. Eucharistic adoration, best way you can spend your time. And so it was the answer to my prayer, and I went there that day, and boom, I went to Eucharistic adoration. But other times in the past, it's been a very peaceful experience praying Eucharistic adoration, like saying the rosary or maybe doing like meditation prayer, like Saint Teresa Avila mental prayer, things like that. But not everyone feels, well, excited feelings, things like that every time they go to adoration. Sometimes people may have doubts about the Eucharist or something else, but at least, hopefully, in people's hearts, they know that it's Jesus right there, and they're usually comforted by that. But for the past, I'm trying to think how long, 2 years, I think, 2 years or 1 year I've been doing this. I think it's 2 years. I don't think it's 1 year because that seems kind of short. It's always been a good experience for me going to Eucharist adoration because it's the best way to spend my time. It's a good place to go where you want to make decisions or don't know what to do in your life. You can just go there, sit in front of our Lord, and ask Him what to do. And so, yeah. So if you haven't gone to Eucharist adoration, I heavily recommend it because it will help you probably severely in your spiritual life. I know the saints, I believe, recommended it as well. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the video today. Like I said, look at that quote by St. John Bosco, I believe it's from, about Eucharist adoration. But yeah, I heavily recommend it. Please go in front of our Lord and talk to Him.